Zach was just talking about some of the issues on offense in the red zone. Kind of gave a little bit of his take on it. What is your take for some of the issues that you guys have had there?
You know, the red zone, at the end of the day, that falls on me. But we have we've had some opportunities in the red zone. I thought we handled a number of them earlier in the season. That has not been the case the last few games here. And so, we did emphasize red zone last week. We had a couple plays that we put in specifically for that game. A couple of them popped for us. One of them was the touchdown to Diami. But execution down there, maybe some game planning, is something that we're going to emphasize this week because it has to get better. That's probably the area offensively right now that's the greatest concern, and it's just something we'll emphasize this week and look at what we need to do to take advantage of this week's opponent and take advantage of NC State next week.
Mac talked a lot last week about how you need to run the quarterback to make your offense work, and you haven't had the opportunity to do that. What exactly value does being able to run Sam Moore bring to the offense?
Well, I think with Sam or any quarterback that has some ability to run, if you watch football on Saturday, it is an integral part of the red zone. Back at Sam Houston, even at Ole Miss, I mean, we utilized the quarterback when we had success in the red zone. That was a part of it. But the fact that we aren't doing that right now because of the depth at that position is, it's an obstacle we have to overcome, but it's not an excuse. So for me, if we had more depth at quarterback and we were able to run the quarterback, we would do that. I think that would help us in the red zone. I think everybody feels that way. But that's not something that we have at our disposal right now, and so it's my job and it's our job to scheme it up and game plan it so that we can get in the end zone anyway, and that's what we plan to do in the next couple weeks.
Phil, I know you don't have a ton of seniors on your side of the ball. What has it kind of been like to work with the group that you do have?
Well, we're actually just talking about it. So you have a couple linemen, you have a couple tight ends that'll be leaving us, you have a running back. I mean, the seniors that we have are they're great kids. They really are. They work hard. They set a good example for the underclassmen. They're a big part of why our locker room is the way it is, and a credit to them. Seniors, it's a little different. They have a new head coach this year, and they bought in entirely. I don't know how you don't buy into Mac Brown, but they bought in entirely, and they set the right example. And to Coach Brown's credit, he treats them just like they're his recruits, just like their family. I don't think they feel any different. Sometimes when a coach takes over, a different coach, you have that feeling of they're not my guys, and that was never the case here. And I think the seniors, right on down, they all knew they were all players for Coach Brown, and they felt that way, and that's the way they behaved, and they have led and carried our team this year the way you would want a group of seniors to do that.
Considering Antonio hasn't gotten probably as many carries as he would have liked, what do you think about the way he played?
Antonio stepped up. I mean, we needed him to. He rushed for over 100 yards. His yards per carry on the season is outstanding. He is a very physical back. Very rarely does he get tackled at the point of engagement. And I thought, he did a lot to help us run the football against Pittsburgh on Thursday night. And then, when you have depth like that with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams and Antonio Williams, it's hard to share the wealth with three guys. But what three guys gives you is fresh legs. Both in practice, you're working all three of them, and that's allowed all three of them to stay maybe fresher than they would if two guys were getting reps, and in the game reps as well. So I think right now we have Javonte got a little nicked up. Michael Carter's feeling good. Javonte will be back. That's not an issue. And Antonio obviously came in with fresh legs, and we really, I don't think, missed a beat in the run game thanks to him and his performance.
It's my understanding that, Matt said he has one of the best attitudes on the team. What does that say about him as a person? What have you noticed?
He's an incredible person, and I've gotten to know him really well, and I have a good relationship with him. And it is a very difficult situation sometimes for a 21, 22-year-old kid to not be the guy, particularly when he can play at this level. He's an exceptional running back. And so he has he's accepted the role that he has here, and he's been a model guy in the weight room and off the field and in the locker room, and all of the things you would want out of a senior and out of a talented football player that probably isn't your every down guy. We've gotten that from him, and Antonio's going to be successful no matter what he does in his lifetime because of the way he handles things and the way he does it.
Have any of those other seniors particularly made an impact on you?
I think they all. I mean, I sit and have lunch with Nick Polino all the time. Charlie Heck and I talk a bunch in and around practice, and Carl and Vargas, they come by. So yes, I know all of our seniors very well. Probably not as well as I would know them if I had been here for the last 4 years, but they're all easy to talk to. They're all personable. They're all great kids. Any one of those guys could babysit my daughters. I mean, that's what I feel when we're talking about that group. And I don't know that I would miss them any less than I would some kids that I've had 3 and 4 years. I just they're great people. I would hope that 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now we're still in communication, and I would jump at the opportunity to help any one of those guys just because of who they are and how they've handled themselves since we've been here. Good.
Do you have any strong feelings on fruit snacks? I think Jordan Tucker was talking about his fruit snack hoard.
Jordan Tucker?
Yes.
No, I would not know anything about
I
that.
believe he said that you were a big fruit snack guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. Coffee might be my deal. That's about it. All right. Good
All right,
day.
guys.
Thank you, fellas.